Well, hello everybody. Can do a little video today. I'm doing some reloading with my 30 378, or on the size die, it's called a 30 belted Newton. So I'm going to show you some, there's a little bit of unique things about this, and I'm not a wildcat guy. I want generic stuff. I shoot 264, which is a little bit not generic, but it's coming back. So I'm happy for that. But 308, 223, 44 mag, 30-30s, just what I call generic stuff. I got this rifle and got interested in it. It's in the Seiko. I've done a few videos on it. Hopefully you guys watch, but I'm going to show you a few things interesting about this. First of all, I'm going to spray some lube on here. So in the rack, you guys can see this is once fired and this is new. So I'm going to spray some lube on it, and then I'll go through and kind of talk about some things that's a little bit unique about doing this. Spray plenty of lube on there and give it a minute to dry so you don't get the oil dents on the shoulder. So I'm going to just kind of talk about some things I've run into with this gun that I've never run into before. So I got the gun. The guy I got it from had quite a bit of loaded ammo. And so this is a 338 case, which, I mean, you seasoned hand loaders know this. Some of the new guys don't, so I'll talk about it. The 338, 7mm, 264 Win Mag, all the same case. A different bullet diameter. 300 Win Mag is essentially the same case, but slightly longer. So that is not the same case. So we're going to kind of set that in our minds to the side, that we're working with these three. So the guy who got the gun from had this 30 belted Newton, all made of all three of those ammo or brass: 264, 7mm, and 338. And he had over 100 rounds. I can't remember exactly, maybe close to 200 rounds of loaded ammo that come with the gun. About 30% of them would cycle in the gun. The other 66% would not. Or 70%, yeah, I guess doing my math there, but they would not chamber. For the life of me, I could not figure that out. So I went through, and every one that didn't chamber, I pulled the bullets and run that case back through the sizing die and did as much sizing as I could possibly do on it. Would not chamber. I threw them cases in the garbage can. So what I did is I actually run onto some 338 brass. 338 Win Mag almost has fallen out of favor. Not sure why. It's a fantastic cartridge. Kicks. Everything's going to the 6.5 Creedmoor style guns or cartridges. But anyway, I happened to find them, so I bought 100 rounds of them. And what I did is I went through the fact that I shoot a 264 Win. I do not want 264 Win Mag head stamped brass with some of them with 264 bullets in them and some of them 30 caliber bullets. So I said, all right, I'm scrapping all of them. I don't even want those in my mix of stuff. I want all 338. So I pick up a cartridge and I look at it, it says 338. I know it is for the Seiko. So I scrapped all of those and found this new brass, and about half of the old brass with the 338 head stamp would work, but it wouldn't. I still, to me, cannot figure out why that is. I hope somebody can make some comments and let me know. So the short of this story is I'm going to reload, I'll resize some of these, and for whatever reason, brand new brass resizes very easy. I'll show you. So here is a brand new 338 Win Mag, unfired brass. This is a Hornady brand. I'll adjust the camera so you guys can see a little better. This is simple as mud. Nothing to it. I cannot believe how easy that is. This is a once fired. I started out with brand new 338 brass. This is once fired, and I'll show you. It resizes fairly easy. Not as much as the brand new brass, which is, here again, a little baffling to me. It's still doable, still works, still viable, but it's not as easy. That brand new brass, it just slides through that resize with no problem. So here's what I've learned, kind of the moral of the story on this. We are living in pretty unsettling times. You know, when I first started shooting 264s, 1988, you could buy any component anywhere. You could go to any good sporting goods store, powder, primers, bullets, whatever you needed was on the shelf. Sportsman Warehouse, you know, in the let's say it'd been the late 90s, kind of started really getting strong, and they had a massive inventory of everything you needed. And shoot, we never even thought about it. Today's world is different. So me shooting oddball 264, there might be a day that I cannot find 264 brass, but 7mm, as popular as it is, I wouldn't think twice about buying, if I was in a pinch. Fortunately I'm not right now, but someday buying 100 rounds of 7mm brass and resizing to 264 and go with it. My younger brother recently, or not recently, it's been 4 or 5 years ago, I guess, maybe even a little longer, but was looking at buying a 260 Remington. So in today's world, 260 Remington is a dead horse. 6.5 Creedmoor has overshadowed that by 100 to 1. And that's sad because the 260 Remington is a fantastic cartridge. So when my brother was looking at buying it, he says, "What do you think? What's your opinion?" And I says, "I think it's a wonderful cartridge that is way overlooked. And the beauty of it is you can probably always find 308 brass. Military once fired, whatever." And I says, "I think it'll be easy. I've never done it, but I think it'd be easy to make 264 cartridges out of 308 brass." And so that's what he ended up buying, and he's had phenomenal success with that gun. Super accurate. He's done some long range stuff with it. Got it in a nice rifle, got a nice scope on it. Fantastic success with that. So my point being is I ended up with this rifle, and I've never monkeyed with doing this resizing stuff. I am shocked how easy it is. So I wanted to share it with you guys. I mean, you know, there's the cartridge world's, I don't know. I feel like that we reinvent the wheel so much. Me, like I said, 264 Win Mag guy, been doing that for 35 years now. What does a 264 Win Mag do that a 6.5 PRC doesn't? They're essentially the same cartridge. A little bit of a caveat on that the world is different today than what it was in 1988, is heavy bullets. You know, these 6.5 Creedmoors, I think, have a lot tighter twist than a 264. The 264s are 1 in 9s. I think the Creedmoors are 1 in 7s. So they're stuffing these giant long-range missile bullets in because of the tighter twist. 300 PRC, I've done a little bit of research on that. There again, they're shooting these extremely high ballistic coefficient 225 grain bullets in a really tight twist. I don't know what the twists are, but versus say a 30-06, 308, 300 Win Mag, the 300 PRC, I believe, has a much tighter twist. At the end of the day, on game, what have we gained? I don't know. I've shot my 264 at 1,000 yards. I'm not going to go into competition with it by any stretch, but in real life situations, I'm shooting 8-9 inch groups at 1,000 yards. Pretty phenomenal in my book. I mean, of course, the 1,000 yard crowd, that if they ever watch this, is going to go, "Dude, you're in first grade." I probably am. I don't have, you know, $2,000 optics on my guns. I've got regular working man wages, guns and scopes, and it's incredible what you can do. You know, I'm shooting a $500 scope, and I'm shooting 8-inch groups at 1,000 yards. To me, that's pretty outstanding. I don't know. Like I say, wanted to just share this with you guys just because I found it interesting how easy this is to do this conversion of 338 brass to 30 338 or 30 belted Newton. Easy. It's, you know, I've done some videos on the load development, and I think I've got her dialed in. I might go shoot this afternoon. If I do, I'll put a little video up on it. The bullets that I've found with good luck is these plain Jane Hornady 180 grain interlock spiral point bolt, or excuse me, they're not bolt tails, they're flat base. So I'll show you the loaded cartridge. Here again, so this gun started out live as a 30-06, and somebody rechambered it to this 30 belted Newton. it's got, I think, without having a bore scope or having any really technical measuring devices, it feels like it's got a ton of free bore. I can't find the lands. So you guys can see this. See how far that bullet's sticking out? In my world, that's sticking out too far. But what I've done is I want every bit of neck tension I can. So I've loaded the bullet basically to the end of the shoulder. Hopefully you guys can see that. So I'm getting all the neck tension I possibly can. So if I put this bullet clear out here to reach the riflings, see how I don't have enough neck tension? And what I think if I did that, what would happen is under recoil, that bullet would walk out of the case. So it's as long as I can possibly get it and still retain as much neck tension as possible. I'm not a Weatherby guy. You know, Weatherby's have their own little cult following, but they're famous for having a lot of free bore. They never touch the riflings. You don't have enough magazine length to do that. And there again, you've got to have that neck tension. I've had some great success with this load. It's a full case. Basically, I'm compressed powder charge of IMR 4831, and I've shot some fantastic groups with this. So I'm launching a 180 grain bullet going essentially, you know, close to 3,000 feet. In a field situation, I have got plenty of gun to do everything. I mean, I think even if I was hunting African playing games, I'd have plenty of gun to do whatever I'm going to do. So I'm really excited about it. I love the gun. Its fit and finish on is absolutely exquisite. So is the trigger. And I've kind of went with a period deal. I mean, it's a 1965 manufactured gun. It's got a Weaver V8 scope on it, which is 1960s technology with 1960s bullet, which I guarantee you will be plenty of bullet for whatever I'm going to do with it. So anyway, we're going to wrap this video up. Please subscribe if you haven't. Had a little bit of an uptick on subscriptions lately, but hopefully you guys will watch this to the end, and please subscribe. I've done some analytics on my videos. I have very few subscribers that are watching. I think I'm less than 10%. So if that other 90%, even half the other 90% would subscribe, we'd see some good growth on the channel. So I appreciate everybody that has done so far, and thanks for watching.